Question number 4. Imagine you've been asked to develop a performance assessment program for employee development. What techniques should you use to adequately evaluate the employee's performance as comprehensively as possible? So, I feel currently that an employee's performance is, at least in my organization, is assessed purely on numbers. You sit down with your supervisor, you look at your numbers, how your supervisor feels your performance is, they rate it, and your raise is based on that. I would develop a more in-depth process. So absolutely you need to look at a person's job performance. That's why we're here, definitely. But there's other ways to assess that. So not only should you look at somebody's job performance, but you need to look at things like their coworker relationships. Do they have good relationships with their coworkers? Are they a positive asset to the company? Do they work well with others? They might not necessarily get along with everybody, but do they have good working relationships? You also need to look at people's behaviors and people's activity outside of work. Do they drink a lot? Do they party a lot? Do they have DUIs? Do they have arrests? Do they have significant family conflict going on? Because those are outside influences and factors that are going to affect their work performance. You also need to look at, do they take their vacation? A lot of employees do not take vacation, and that creates stress. Everybody needs to take their vacation. So you need to, when you're assessing their performance, you should make sure they're taking their vacation, they're taking care of their mental health. Those things need to be in place. You also need to look at what they do with their downtime at work. When they're on their break, are they mingling with coworkers? Are they gossiping? Are they surfing online? Like, how do they conduct themselves? Because that's a reflection of how they're gonna act on their job and how they're gonna perform their job. It needs to be more, a proper assessment of an employee's performance needs to be more well-rounded. And there's various techniques and various ways you can do that. You can do that by interviewing their coworkers. You can do it by observing. You can do it by hosting, off-campus or off-site, I don't want to say parties, but get-togethers for employees to see how people act when they're not in the office. You can do it with, suggestion boxes. Have people write down, what they think's good about their job, what they think's bad about their job, and putting all these factors in, I think, would allow you to adequately assess an employee's performance versus very one-sided, having it be from their boss, having their boss write down what they think, because people are going to act different towards their coworkers than they do their boss, and all these little things contribute to how an employee performs. So I would do a more, well-rounded assessment, and I would have it I wouldn't do an assessment that you'd have to do in like 2 weeks. I would have the employee assessment take the place over a year, and every couple months you would look at these things, and at the end of the year you would put them all together, and that's how you would do their review or do their assessment. I would make it a more lengthy process, and I feel you could get a more adequate assessment of how that employee works.